What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings to everyone out there in the YouTube land. I'm Matt Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. Hey, want to thank you all for tuning in here today. Lions Talk Live Morning Show Edition, and we've got a thumbnail for you today. A bunch of you sent me over this yesterday. I didn't really want to address it, but you know what? It is the off season, so you're going to get all sorts of rumors. Lions going to trade for this person. They're going to sign that person. This person's coming on over. I mean, you get it. It's just that time of year. One of those rumors and speculations that emerged over the weekend, as you can see from the thumbnail, is could Matt Stafford return to the Detroit Lions? I mean, it's possible. I mean, I can't say no. Do I think it's going to personally happen? I would say there's probably about a negative 0.999 billion chance. But I'm saying there's a chance, I guess. Would Matt Stafford want to come back home to the Detroit Lions? I don't see where it would make any kind of sense financially for the team, product-wise on the field for the team, or for the quarterback. I get it. Detroit Lions have a lot of offensive weapons, and let's just start with that. Do I think that, hey, Matt Stafford looks over the Detroit Lions and says, wow, it'd be fun to play with those guys? Yeah, sure. What quarterback wouldn't want to play with Amon St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Gibbs, Montgomery, Laporta, Tesla? I mean, I get all that part. Would he really want to leave L.A. for that? I mean, I guess to each their own devices, but the report did come out. It is from Sports Illustrated, and there are about 20 other different agencies, news media outlets that kind of jumped on it. He is a free agent. Let's start with that. Matt Stafford is a free agent. It is possible he could go to a different team. We all know last year he nearly went to the New York Giants, and there were a couple other teams. It escapes my memory what those other teams were. How much of that was reality, though, and he was just trying to force the Rams into giving him a contract that he wanted? Everybody can debate that, and somebody who covers the Rams more probably has more detailed and pertinent information than I do. I just didn't pay that much attention to it. But from the Detroit Lions only standpoint, would it make any sense whatsoever? You got Jared Goff under contract. He's got a no-trade clause. I suppose you could rework his contract to make both guys work with the team. But let's face it, one of those guys ain't going to be very happy if they're sitting on that bench. And my anticipation is if you're bringing Matt Stafford back, unless it's just like, hey, I'm going to retire. I want to retire a Detroit Lion. Can you give me a one-day contract? Something like that, which does happen often in pro sports, just so that individual can retire with that particular team. I just don't see any way, shape, and form this could actually happen in reality. The Lions aren't in great cap situation right now unless they restructure about 3 or 4 or 5 different contracts. So from just the financial aspect alone, I don't think it'd be a big win. Stafford's 37 going on 38. Goff's going on 31. So would you want to make that switch there? I don't know. I think Goff actually had a pretty good year and has had a pretty good time in Detroit. There will be a whole lot of people that argue that and say Goff's a bum or whatever. To each their own. I know a lot of the Duke crew and probably people who are just, I guess just, you're only good at quarterback nowadays if you can outrun everybody. And let's face it, Matt Stafford, if that's what you want out of quarterback, he's not solving that issue. He's never been unmobile, but he's never been mobile. And now that he's got some back issues, he's getting up there and closer to 40. I mean, just like everybody else on planet Earth, you get a little bit slower. All right, before we go into this anymore, before we go into the 5 headlines now, which I actually think there's some validity to the 5 headlines, and maybe not so much the main topic of the day. But again, it is the offseason, Sports Illustrated ran with this, and I think the Detroit News and Free Press also had coverage on this. It's the only reason why I even wanted to put it on the show today is, I have a lot of respect for some of the people that work at the Freep and the News. I've, used to work with a lot of them. Is it possible they just ran with the news just because Sports Illustrated did? 100%. Let's be fair. It could be a thing. But I figured, all right, we'll get this out of the way just so I don't have to hear anybody in the comment section say, hey, what do you think about Matt Stafford coming back to Detroit? All right, before we get anything more on the show, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that march for 16,200 subs. We are now 18 subs away from it. If you can help out with that, man, that would be most awesome of you. Also, if you have a half second of time, it's free of charge, won't cost you anything, not even a penny or a dime. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more. Thumbs up or likes. Last, never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan where I reside, then go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. If you live outside the state of Michigan, you can also contact me. I just got to do things a little bit differently. But you see the number on your screen. If not, well, let me put it on the screen. How about that? 269-998-2384. Have a quick conversation, what I can do to save you time, hassle, money. Make sure nobody overworks you, tries to lead you astray. I know there's a couple of you I'm working for right now, and that's something we had to take care of with a few of your lenders just because they were trying to sneak in some fees that you really shouldn't have to pay. So anyways, if you want somebody who's going to watch your back and not really try to sell you anything or whatever, then go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, and we'll go from there and have that conversation. All right, with all that done, said all the way, since we're already kind of into the main top of the day, let's just beat it down. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, and it's no disrespect to Matt Stafford, would you even want him back in Detroit? I don't want to go on to this very long just because I think there's about this big a chance that it could happen. But, a bunch of you guys sent this over to me. Would you want Stafford back? And if you do want him back, what do you do with Goff? I don't think he's going back to the Rams. Anything's possible, though. Maybe you could work out a trade. But Stafford's a free agent. If he doesn't get the deal he so desires from L.A., then he could go somewhere else. And let's face it, he played as good as any quarterback in the league at 37 years old. Is it possible somebody else pick him up? Yeah. I think if you're a Super Bowl contender, you think you're one player away from getting there, I could totally see somebody else grabbing him. Could Stafford play another 2, 3, 4, 8 years? It is possible. He is not really showing from a passing standpoint. He's not really showing age at this point. Maybe from a running standpoint or mobility standpoint, you could see him last in the NFL for a while longer without those skill bases. The other aspect is we all know when he was on his final couple seasons with Detroit, let's say his last 3 seasons, in 2 of those 3 seasons, he had some significant back issues. And right before the start of this past season, I don't remember all the particulars because I don't cover the Rams, but I do remember he missed all of training camp, preseason games because of a back injury. That thing, flares up again. It's not a good look at that age. So let's start with this. Duke Crew, if you think he should come back to Detroit, let me know. If you think, man, oh man, this is just SI.com, Carlos Monarez, whoever else you want to throw under the bus, just trying to get a story this time of year for the Lions to sell some newspapers or ads, then go and throw it out there too. I personally don't think there's a snowball's chance of this thing happening, but been wrong before, of course. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, I think we've beaten this topic up. I think you guys get my stance on it. If you think there's any possibility, put it in the comment section, and when we get to the comment section, we'll address it. But hey, the story's out. Now we can move on to other stuff. Let's get into 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming at you. And some of these maybe a little bit more pertinent than the Stafford topic. 6 Detroit Lions make ESPN's top 100 MVP list for 2025. Yahoo Sports, Don Drysdale with this one. Man, Don Drysdale's all over the place. All right, let's get to the list for you guys. And you know what? Hey, I think there is a lot of possibility for this list. You can have your own thoughts on it, and everybody should. And here, I think the Lions have a ton of talent. I know 3 weeks ago or so, we did a list for the show and tried to break down some of the strengths of the team, why I thought, man, the Lions are as loaded as anybody in the NFL with different skilled position players, especially on offense. But for those who didn't know the list, let's walk through it here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver, came in at number 17 at his respective position. Aiden Hutchinson came in at number 22 at his position. I was a little surprised by this one. And again, for those who aren't paying attention, this is the top 100 people for potentially MVP next year. Penei Sewell, give him a lot of credit. You're not going to find many offensive linemen on the MVP list. The fact that they have him in the top 30 opportunity people for the MVP next year, that's just continues to speak volumes for how good Penei Sewell is. He's over the top good, and the fact that you have an offensive lineman, a white tackle in the top 30 for potential MVP candidates, let that sink in. We were just talking about this guy a second ago because of Stafford. Whether or not you think there's Stafford's coming back, I don't know. I don't really care. I'll leave it to you guys. But Jared Goff is what he is. He is a very good NFL quarterback. No, he's not outrunning anybody to get into the end zone or doing any of that kind of stuff. But doesn't mean he's not accurate. Doesn't mean he doesn't take care of the ball. I mean, he's consistently amongst the best quarterbacks in the NFL, at least amount of interceptions thrown. He's typically towards the top in touchdowns thrown, yards thrown. I mean, all he does is good stuff in my humble opinion, especially this year when you consider the running game wasn't great, the offensive line wasn't great. The fact that he came in at number 33 on this list speaks volumes. Next one, a bit of a surprise, at least in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts. Jack the Hammer Campbell came in at number 50 for MVP odds going into next year. That's insane for a linebacker, let alone a middle linebacker. But let's be fair, Jack Campbell can probably play all three linebacker spots. Even seen him play some defensive edge this year. Next one on the list, I wasn't surprised by this. I was surprised he was number 64, and that's Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs did not finish the year well, and I think that's a result of more and more teams saying, hey, when he's on the field, we need to focus more of the defense on him, shutting him down. Gibbs, we'll see what next year happens or has in store for him with Petzing, one of the OCs, I guess you could say, for the Detroit Lions. But there is your top list for the Detroit Lions, and I don't think it's a bad list. I could see some of these guys moving on up into MVP conversation. All right, we'll go from that headline to the next headline. Detroit Lions urged to poach $70 million Pro Bowler. The heavy story by Michael Whitaker with this one. We're going to be talking about this until free agency hits. You're going to have the Lions all sort of tied to this guy, that person, this situation. You get it. Lions are going to have potentially a whole lot of money freed up when we get to free agency if they do rework some deals. And I do think that, Tyler Linderbaum is going to be atop the list. We all get the offensive line hit some problems once Frank Ragnow went down. We all know the story. Don't need to probably beat this up too much. But Linderbaum would automatically fix the offensive line for at least the vast majority of the problems with it. We were talking the last couple days on the show. Is it possible the Lions don't need to address the tackle position, offensive tackle position for the team? It is. If you think Giovanni Manu or Miles Frazier are the answers, or maybe somebody else on the list could step on in and handle one of the tackle spots, or I guess if you feel like Taylor Decker is able to go next year and play at a high level, then really you only need a center. Linderbaum would cure that. Whether or not you're going to invest $20 to $26 million a season into him, we'll wait and see. I think everybody in this show right now, whether you're watching it live or later in the day, would all agree that would be one of the biggest free agent signings in recent years for this organization. And let's also be fair, it would be one of the most impactful for the next several years on any organization, period, across the NFL. Linderbaum comes in, you handle the running game, you upgrade it significantly, you upgrade your passing game, you upgrade the biggest strength of Jared Goff, play action pass. So, I mean, it's just a win all around. You do have to be willing to pay the guy probably a ton of money, and I'm going to guess his contract is going to be fully guaranteed. Whoever wins that lottery for him is going to probably have to guarantee every penny on that contract for him to choose you over somebody else. Wait and see what shakes out. All right, this is going to be a round table. Senior Bowl standouts for Detroit Lions, SI.com, story by Vito Chirito with this one. He did a little bit of interview with a bunch of people sitting there watching the Senior Bowl practices, then the games, etc. Number one, he threw out at Christian Boer. The Senior Bowl was full of talent this year. Boer's thoughts, players that could be of interest for the Detroit Lions. He was impressed with LSU quarterback Garrett Newsome and Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez. The quarterback threw off some serious arm talent, strength, threw things around. Whether or not I think the Lions can get him, I don't personally think so, unless they're going to take him in earlier rounds than anybody's really anticipating the Lions taking a quarterback. Let's see. Boer also threw out the idea of Illinois' edge Gabe Jakes as coming out as a defensive side of the ball standout for the Lions to consider. Moving on, let's see. Which free agents should the Lions prioritize to return? Boer threw out a couple different ideas. Did throw out Alaquin Muhammad. Did throw out Roy Lopez. I think most of us agree on all that. He also threw out Alex Anzalone. Went on to a laundry list of why he thought each of those guys should come back. My personal opinion is getting all three back would really show the Lions are trying to prioritize winning it all this year. Why? These guys aren't getting any younger. Alex Anzalone is getting up there. Muhammad's getting up there. Lopez has got some years left on him, probably in the NFL level. Anzalone would keep the defensive coverage from the linebacker spots pretty well. I don't think last year was good as 24. Whether that's age, scheme, or whatever, leave that to you guys to ascertain. Muhammad had a breakout year. How Muhammad is going to get paid by somebody. I think that's the big problem with him. You get 11 sacks in kind of a backup role. Somebody's going to take notice and say, hey, we need to take advantage of that. Is Brad Holmes thrifty enough to make that move happen? To me, that's the biggest question with this one. Chirito also goes on to talk about Lopez and says, hey, he's a low-risk move. The guy, all he does is motor out there. Doesn't play a ton of snaps typically, but he has those snaps be incredibly impactful. Does not think that DJ Reader is going to return. I think most people went into last year assuming that with the drafting of Tyleik the Freak Williams. They're more or less the same guy, except Williams is much cheaper and younger. Go from there. Also goes to talk on about defensive end opposite Hutch. Chirito thinks he thinks the Lions do need to go out and get somebody. Does not think Muhammad is the answer. Muhammad would be a nice part to the Lions defense, but doesn't think he's the full-time answer there. Does think the Lions are going to address this in the draft and not free agency. So pay attention to that. If you want a story with a lot more to it, go ahead and check it out. He goes on to talk about his thoughts for Tyleik Williams in year 2. I agree, and I'm just going to summarize here. He thinks he's going to step up, probably offer a little bit more pass rush next year potential than he did this year, but to continue his run stuffing ways. But check it out. There's more than I can really cover on the show in that story. All right, next up, 5 headlines now. Alex Anzalone's uncertain future with the Detroit Lions. Last word on sports by Lauren Clark with this one. It is uncertain, and we did talk about this, I want to say within the last week. There are all sorts of rumors already flying around that Aaron Glenn has made him his number one free agency priority to sign, and that'd be Alex Anzalone going to the Jets. Jets need help. Jets need coaches. Jets need players. Jets need needs. They need to not have as many needs. But Aaron Glenn, him and Alex Anzalone get along very well. They have a kinship for each other. They respect each other. Detroit Lions don't make him the right offer, then he is probably going to end up with the Jets. Recently asked about the situation, Alex Anzalone just said, hey, he's got to do what's in. He didn't go into specifics, just said he has to do what's right for him and his family. I get it. The guy's a dad, and I think he's got like 29 different kids. He's got a lot of mouths to feed. He does need to think about his situation. This is probably going to be his last opportunity to get a legitimate NFL contract of note, so he's probably banking a whole lot on it. He's had a ton of impact during his career with the Detroit Lions. I can remember he was signed as a free agent from New Orleans, was not highly regarded, not considered a big signing by all. When the Lions brought him in, Dan Campbell said, nah, I believe in this guy. And to be fair, every year he was with or has been with the Detroit Lions, all he's done for the most part is get better and better and better. It's why I often try to throw out at people when they say that, hey, this draft pick hasn't done anything their rookie year, it must be a bust. There are a ton of guys in the NFL, a vast majority of rookies that come in that don't do a ton. But year 2, did they get better? Year 3, did they get better? Alex Anzalone is probably the prime example for this, because it really took to about year 3 or 4 for him to make any kind of headway in the league. And now there's a lot of people that would say he's one of the best coverage linebackers out there. So let that sink in. We'll see what shakes up with him this offseason. All right. What a perfect offseason looks like for the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions and SI, story by Christian Boer. Boer having a busy day penning stories for you to consider, but let's get into it. He's going to start off with restructuring contracts to create cap space. We get this one. We kind of already talked about it. We talked about it for a few weeks. He thinks the Lions are going to try to free up $70 million. Doesn't think they're going to go after all 100 or 130 in potential cap space relief they could get after. It does point out with redoing, he thinks Goff's contract and Liam McNeil's contract to get that $70 million. What do you do with that $70 million? Well, he addresses that as well. He thinks the Lions need to add a defensive veteran. Someone maybe like, he throws out the names Trey Hendrickson or Jaden Phillips, amongst others he lists for defensive end. I would have no problem with it. Do I think either one of them are coming to town? Wait and see. Phillips did have a pretty good run with the Philadelphia Eagles after the trade. I thought he was impactful, but we all knew when that trade happened, you were renting him for some games. It is possible the Eagles or somebody else could offer him a new contract. He would be, out of Trey Hendrickson or Phillips, who would I take? I don't know. I think both guys have their strengths, and there's a ton of other guys you could add there too. He does also point out the cornerback position. Could you go after Woolen or Watson or a couple other names out there? Yes, that's possible as well. He does also point out signing center Tyler Linderbaum is probably the number one move for the Detroit Lions to make with that money if they free it up. Not going to talk about this one since we just talked about it, but you get it. Everybody and their mother thinks we need to go after Linderbaum. Linderbaum or bust. Extend core members of the 23 draft class. I would say this is an unavoidable situation. The question just comes down to, do you resign one of them, two of them, three of them, all four of the core members? Let's face it, that draft, the top four picks that the Lions made were all home runs. You could say it was a grand slam. The bottom four didn't really work out so well, but it is what it is. You got four potential all-pro, I don't want to say Hall of Famers, but let's also be fair. To a certain degree, each of the top four people have some level of expectation if they have a long enough career where they could be considered for the Hall of Fame. I think Campbell Gibbs for sure, Laporta maybe, and then Branch. It's possible. I'd say he's probably the least likely of those groups, but you're going to have to resign them, either that or they're going somewhere else. All right, and then the final thing he has for his perfect offseason, emerge with 2 instant starters in the draft. I agree with this fully. When we talked this offseason so far for the Detroit Lions, I pointed out a number of times, if it were me running the show, and not that doesn't mean that I'm right all the time, I can be wrong, but I would go into this offseason saying this: if we can get a couple of starters in free agency, maybe 2 to 4, and especially if they're on the offensive line and then 1 or 2 on defense, man, that offense looks pretty dang intimidating to face. If you can add 2 now to the defense, well, you already got some pretty good talent out there. You got eviscerated by injuries. So now can you go into the draft? Instead of walking out with 7 draft picks, can I walk out with 4 draft picks and say, hey, out of those 4, 2 or 3 are impact starters? If you can do that, there's only so many spots available on a 53-man roster, let alone in the starting lineup for offense or defense. I think the Detroit Lions will start looking like one of the more complete teams in the National Football League. All right, last one here for those who didn't catch us right at the start of the day, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, is Matthew Stafford the final piece for the Detroit Lions Super Bowl puzzle. Detroit Lions and SI, sorry about John Macron. I'm just going to summarize with this. If you didn't catch the start of the show, I don't think this is even remotely possible. I don't think Stafford wants to come back. I don't think the Lions want him back. But with all that said, did SI run the story? Yes. Did the Detroit News and Free Press piggyback off it? Or maybe, to be fair, I didn't check the timestamps on all of them. Maybe one of them started it and SI piggybacked off it. Whoever started it, Stafford is a free agent. He is going to get some interest from some teams. Do I think the Detroit Lions are going to take the big salary cap hit and do whatever they're going to do with Goff and bring in Matt Stafford? No, I don't. You could do a 2-hour show on the reasons why, but I'm just summarizing by saying, is it a story? Sure. Do I think there's any validity to it? Probably not, but who knows? Maybe later today we'll get that breaking news thing from different institutions saying, hey, Matt Stafford's talking about coming to the Detroit Lions. All right, guys, that's all I got for the 5 headlines down the main top of the day. Let's get over to you guys in the Duke Crew comment section to see what you have to say about all these topics and maybe just a little bit more. Let me scroll to the top of the screen. All right, I'm still scrolling, still going. All right, here we go. Telehunt, 0% chance of Stafford returning, better chance of Sue. Hey, Sue wanted to return as a Detroit Lions. If you're not old enough to remember this story, Lions had to make a choice basically between a couple different players and retaining them or Sue. Sue said he got messed over. I was going to say something that rhymes with Sue, but he was really hurt by the fact that the Detroit Lions did not re-sign him or make him an offer that he thought was appropriate. Johnny, good morning, folks. Good morning to you. Hookadoo, good morning, Duke Crew One Pride. Nope, I'm happy with golf. Stay in L.A. with an exclamation point. We'll see what they have to say. Moonscar Blade, good morning, Duke Crew. Setting that up. Exclamation point. I should have checked on the mishap yesterday. Would have gotten on the live. Glad to see everything is back to normal. Yeah, it just, unfortunately, I get it. Different services. There's only so much you can do. They ran into an issue yesterday morning. I had to delay the show, whatever it was, like 45 minutes, an hour, something like that. That's it. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. Stafford back to Detroit would be insane. It would be a headline for sure. And then how do you determine who's the starting quarterback? Maybe a thumb wrestling match, standoff. Johnny L. Stafford would make a good backup quarterback. We'll see if they do. Moonscar, I saw those articles about Stafford. Yeah, and a number of you guys sent them over to me. I mean, I'm very thankful. The Duke Crew, if I ever feel like I'm going to miss something, I know I probably won't because a number of you guys will make sure I don't miss it, and thank you for getting this over to me. All right, Moonscar Blade, about a Stafford return, nothing to them. Okay. Vince, I don't think it was going momentum, but it is. It is gaining momentum for sure, even though I can't read in the morning. Tella, he will play for L.A. or retire. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think when he goes to retire, I know some will say, well, he's going as a Lion or a Ram. I think he's going in as a Ram. Nothing against his time in Detroit. You, me, everybody in between can have different opinions on it. I think Stafford faced, for the most part, an organization that couldn't get out of his own way. That being said, Martin Mayhew, I thought, did a pretty good job along with Jim Schwartz, kind of getting the Lions turned around a little bit in the early to mid 2010s. That 2014 team was legit. If they didn't get messed over by the NFL and Roger Goodell and about 4 different penalties, somehow getting missed on one play, I think they would have won in Dallas, and I do think they would have won in Green Bay, and that team probably would have been in the Super Bowl. But didn't happen. Okay, Grip Morning, Moonscar and Johnny L. Moonscar Blade, maybe we can trade 2 firsts, Jared Goff and Marcus Davenport, for our 3rd in 2040. You heard it here first. We'll have that breaking news mantra ready to roll. Johnny, what's the good word? Question mark. Hookadoo. We'll find out. Moonscar Blade. Vincent is laughing at you. Johnny L. We need to grab that edge out of Miami. A lot of people are talking about him for sure. I want to say there was somebody's mock draft that had us getting him in the 2nd round. I don't think he's going to make it that far. We'll see, though. Maybe the Lions pull off a trade. Moonscar, breaking news. We'll get that intro ready. Vincent, Bailey. All right. Johnny, Stafford's not coming here? I would think not, man. I would think not. Conan the Barbarian, no way Stafford comes home. This is Goff's team now. I agree with that. And I think the Lions, MCDC, Brad Holmes, and everybody else, I think they are under that mindset as well. All right, Hookadoo, Johnny L. The good word is Goff. I'll go with some Goff. Moonscar Blade, the one clause in the deal. Stafford has to leave Kelly and the girls in L.A. All business here. Exclamation point. See if they can do that. David, greetings, Sanitations Coach and Duke Crew. Back at you, David. Laughing at Moonscar Blade with a thumbs up. Johnny L., I like the way you're thinking, Moonscar. Indeed, and do. Let's see, Henry Moore Sr. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. What a team. What podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! And back at you, Xavier. Greetings, Sanitations Coach Dan and the fabulous Duke Crew. Hope everyone has a blessed day. Exclamation point. I'm surprised to see Matt Stafford on the thumbnail. Yeah, I get it, man. I hope we bring back a good backup quarterback. We'll see what they do. I don't know what we're going to do at backup quarterback. We'll probably be not the highest thing on the list, but they do need to address it. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Anyone know whatever happened to Kurt Steele? Question mark. Never see him around anymore. I'm not 100% sure. I want to say he said he's substitute teaching nowadays in the mornings. But I think that's right. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And that's why he's not around as much in the mornings. All right, Johnny L. That's what I said, Xavier. Hogadoo. Henry, the man of grit. Good morning. Got to have grit in the morning, right? Let's see, Jess. Greetings, Sanitation Dooku. No, we need a lot of things. Stafford isn't one of them. I might agree with that fully. Henry Moore, good morning, Attila, Johnny L. Moonscar, and the man of grit, Hookadoo. Jen, good morning, all, exclamation point. No, Stafford is not coming back here, clickbait. I'll concur. David, turning in for the next episode of As the NFL Turns. Woo! Hey, try to keep me entertained. Johnny, good morning, Henry. Henry, good morning, Jen. Drake, laughing out loud. David, Jen, good morning, Henry. Hookadoo, good morning, Jen. Johnny, come on, Brad, do some cooking for a change. You know, we got about a month until free agency hits. I do think the Lions, I mean, I could be totally wrong. I think this is the year they really do need to try to bring in 2 or 3, maybe 4 strong free agent signings. Jen, good morning, Hookadoo. Johnny, good morning, Jen. France, Coach, I finally got a chance to see you on the channel. Some nice work there. Thanks, man. I enjoy history, so I enjoyed putting stuff up. I'm almost done with the next video. The only thing I would say with that channel is if you're expecting new stuff every day, that's not going to happen. It takes a lot of time to get those videos up and ready. Some of them can take like a week to make. So I probably will put out 1, maybe 2 every week. But if you like history, and especially odd history, check it out. Jim, don't need Kelly? No, I think she's kind of burnt that bridge for Detroit. Henry Moore Sr., what up, Conan, Trey, Davids, and Xavier? All of the above. Jen, good morning, Johnny. Big Eddie, maybe Kirby and Matt can share a place together. Ooh, yeah, I do remember them having a few words for each other. Xavier, I was surprised not to see a show yesterday, but I understand you had to recharge your body. No, we did have it, but it was like an hour late, something like that, just because of some technical difficulties. Moonscar Blade, it aired at 8, technical difficulties. Yes, well said, my friend. I agree. Jen, everyone get a good recipe for groundhog stew. My bones can't handle 6 more weeks of freezing cold. Yeah, it's hey, I'm just glad we're now in the 20-degree temperatures versus the negative 20-degree temperatures. Johnny, he came in an hour late. Xavier, technical difficulties? Yes. David, Coach had a show yesterday. Xavier was just an hour late. Yes, concur. Jen, good morning. Xavier, Moonscar Blade. Oh, yeah, it is Groundhog Day and my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Thanks for the reminder. Nothing wrong with that. And don't forget to call your mom. Hookadoo, Jen, I like winter and snow, but I'm ready for spring. I think a lot of people are. Anymore, Junior, good morning. Good gritty morning to everyone. Exclamation point. Hope everyone is having a good day so far. Let's get some good news. I'm trying to get it for you. Johnny L, this is fun. Got to have fun. Jess, it has to be tough coming up with topics to talk about every day this time of year. It is. Coach, why don't you do shows on the Tigers, Pistons, or other teams to help out some? I've thought about it, and I know a bunch of you guys over the years have kind of suggested why not doing that. The only thing is this is Lions Talk Live, not Pistons Talk Live. It doesn't mean I don't mention other shows or like big college matchups sometimes. It's just, I don't know. You can almost make it a separate channel. It's just, I don't know. I guess I can summarize saying I like talking about the Lions too much. Maybe that's what I can say. Jen, I do, Hookadoo. Just the freezing stuff is getting to me. Old, it happens. Henry Moore, good morning, Junior. Susan, 5 likes. Come on, people. Hit those buttons. Yeah, if you guys can. Hit the like, subscribe, all that stuff. Jen Moonscar, better call Mom. Exclamation point. I concur. Henry Moore Jr., good morning, Dad. Xavier, did anyone watch any bowl games yesterday? I did not, my friend. Hookadoo, Henry Jr., I feel the grit this morning. Gotta love your grit. Johnny L, grits and shrimp. Ooh, with some hot sauce. Now we're talking. 5 Fingers Ready. I don't know there was even a game yesterday. I didn't know. Yeah, me. I knew there was some, but I don't think I paid attention to them. Jen Hookadoo, the big tags from Miami look awesome. I've heard that from some people. Same with the ones from Utah, the Utes. Henry Moore Jr., grit is growing. Haha, we need more of it. I had to remember waking up in the morning and eating grits. Hey, some people do. Jess, good morning, everyone. Back at you, Henry Moore. Ordered some long sleeve base layers t-shirts. They help a lot. Compression ones will hold your body heat closer to you. Nothing wrong with that. Ziggy and friends, good morning, Captain Dan and the Do crew and Do position crew all-stars. I'll go with that, and good morning to you. Henry Moore, a glorious morning to you. Jess, Hookadoo, what's the difference between grits and oatmeal? Question mark, never had grits before. All right. Let's see. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Not a chance does Matt come back or that we even want him back. This is golf teams now. I would think so, too. Jen, good trip. Nothing wrong with that. Johnny, grits are more like cream of wheat. Okay. Jen agreed. Stephanie, Henry Moore Senior. Good morning, Stephanie. I think the same thing. 2A chef in barbecue. Grits in ground corn, not oats. Okay. Jen, grits and groundhog. All right. You got to eat groundhog. Tori, okay. I think I'm okay with Stafford coming back. Goff is good, but Matt is better. Could be that. How you do? You hit the nail on the head there, Stephanie, with an exclamation point. Johnny L. Stafford would make a great backup quarterback. I would agree. Pat, Linderbaum signed with us yet? Not as of yet. Free agency, still a little ways away. Queen Mary, good morning, Duke Crew, and good morning, Hookadoo. Johnny, Attila, Henry, Jen, welcome to February. We are in February. Henry Moore, good morning, Tori. Don't think Stafford wants to retire as a Lion. Maybe not. Jen, all time, we need the machines up and running. I will be listening. Have some great content today. Have a great day at work. Hopefully you stay safe. Henry Moore, good morning. Light of Lions Talk Live. Queen Mary, nothing wrong with that. Dre Day, what do you got? I just threw up in my mouth after reading his headline. Yes, indeed. Jen, morning. Good morning, Mary. Johnny, good morning, Queen Mary. How are you today? We'll find out with a question mark. Hookadoo. I went to Bass Pro Shop yesterday to get a gun for that groundhog. Hey, fire away, my friend. Lions Talk Live fan, Lions Talk Live with an exclamation point. Hookadoo, good morning, my queen. Jen, Hookadoo, right there with you with an exclamation point. Queen Mary, Johnny L, I'm blessed. Nothing wrong with being blessed. Let's see, Kim. So sad that reports have to make stuff up to keep people tuned in. Stafford is not returning to Detroit. He retired from L.A. He'll retire from L.A. Yeah, I agree with you, Kim. And again, like I said during the opening mantra, would you normally talk about this? No, but SI, both Detroit Metro major papers ran with it. So, and a bunch of you blew me up on it. So I was like, all right, we'll talk about it real quick. Rob Hawk, morning all. Exclamation point. No way Stafford is coming back, especially if his wife has anything to say about it. Got to fix my tire and head out. Have a great day all. Back at you, my friend. Lionel, good morning, coach and Duke Worldwide. Exclamation point. Nope. Please, for the love of God, no. We're fine with Goff. Stafford had his chance. Lightning and Thundercats. Ho! And yes, well said, my friend. Steve Rogers, Kelly can kick rocks. Maybe she does kick rocks. Let's see. Maybe on the beach, too, she kicks them. Lionel Stafford. I knew we were going with that. Queen Mary Hookadoo, I was thinking the same thing. We're going to have some barbecue groundhog. Hey, not wrong with that, especially if we throw some hot sauce on it. Lauren, greetings, salutations, coach and the mighty Duke Crew. Back at you. No, Stafford, says Queen. Johnny L, the show is about to start. Peace out, folks. Till tomorrow. We'll see you then. Lions Talk Live. Yeah, if you want a link for the history show that I run, go and check it out. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Hopefully you enjoy it. Dre Day, Stafford can retire at the Jack in the Box at L.A. That clown needs to stay away from Detroit. All right, we'll keep him out of here. Mary, seriously. I got to buy a new gun yesterday. That poor groundhog. Phil, good morning, crew. Back at you. Any more Cena? All I'll say is that Punxsutawney Phil will see his shadow today. Let's hope so. Same old soup just reheated. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Like number 34. Thank you for that. Jonathan, good morning. Back at you. Big D, didn't start my morning with no Stafford stuff. All right, we won't start with that. Phil, is the groundhog follow the Duke Crew? We'll find out. That's a great question. Easy, typical Carlos. Yes, Carlos Moneros. Let's see. Brothers, what do you got? Hey, Coach, what percentage chance do you think we keep Dave Montgomery? I'll say 20 to 25. That would be my guess. I don't think it's a high chance, but I think there is a reasonable chance. Big D, why would he come to sit on the bench? Hey, maybe he wants just that free money paycheck that the backups get. Phil, Dan is the host of the most. Thank you for saying that. Southwest, I'm not caught in the moment. We would win the Super Bowl. He's 1,000 times better than Goff. Sorry, not Goff hate, but them are facts. There would be that aspect. Some would say that he's better than Goff, and that's why you bring him back. I don't know, though. Phil, the city would go crazy if Stafford returned. Probably some accuracy there. Queen Mary, Coach Dan, thanks for sharing your history page. I really enjoy them. Hey, no worries. I'll try to get the next one out later today, next video. So, anyways, Phil, buy Dan's books. They are great. Yeah, if you guys ever get bored, you want to read something and something that's historically somewhat accurate. They're based on historical facts, but the situations involved aren't historically accurate, then go to Amazon.com or wherever you buy great reading literature. Order Kujora book number 1 or 2. So, hey, there. Thank you, Phil, for that shameless plug. All right, let's see. Hookadoo Stafford will be sitting on the bench, but it's in L.A. Ooh, there you go. Like Jared Jones, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you, Dre Day. Don't do facts with opinions. The facts are Goff won more games as Lion than Stafford, and Stafford has thrown more picks per season than Goff. That might be accurate. Phil, make Goff the backup? I don't know. TaylorMade, I've lost more than a step, my dang selfie. I think we're all on the same page there, 100%. Mike, welcome home, Pat Stafford. Hey, I do remember the people calling him the Stat Patford and everything. Zing friends, wouldn't mind Goff or Stafford back in the foil. We'll find out. Hookadoo, TaylorMade, I hear you. I think we all do. Miles Barker, smiling no to Matthew. Hey, Queen Mary, thank you for that, Queen Mary. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And just for that, let's give you a proper 1, 2, and a 3 on your respective screen. Thanks for being a member. Let's see, multi-match. Hex no to Stafford. Hex no, we won't go. Dre Day, nothing but disrespect for Matt Stafford. He let the franchise down more times than a seasoned Paul Barrett. All right. Let's see, Richard. No Stafford, exclamation points. It would cause issues if Goff, if he had a bad day. Yes, indeed. Phil, that's not Dan's business number. It's his personal phone number, rare for YouTube. Yeah, I throw it out there because my personal number is my business number. That is my phone number. Kim, what do you got? Like Matt, but no, back to Detroit. CJ, Goff is a great quarterback. Exclamation point. I'm looking forward to seeing him next season. Detroit Lions. He's ours. He is ours. To a chef in barbecue. I don't want Stafford's wife back. Ooh, probably a lot of people on that one. Benjamin Brewer, Stafford. Come on, coach. You need to get off the unsocial media. It might be true. But the fact that the SI.com and, like I said, both major Detroit-based papers ran with it, that's basically the only reason why I did. Hookadoo, you tell him, Miles Margaret. Phil, Kelly can stay in California. She probably would. Eddie, if Matt Stafford comes back to Detroit, it would be fair to Goff. I think Goff is a type quarterback in Detroit. Yeah, I like him here too. I want absolutely not. Stafford needs to retire with Rams. Probably will. Phil, Stafford makes a great OC. Maybe that's some outside the box thinking. Queen Mary, my opinion, why trade for worse when we got the best? I like the way you were thinking. Moonscar Blade, it's 7:10. Let's move on. New topic time. Exclamation point. Woo! Indeed, indeed, and do. Hookadoo. When we fix the offensive line, our boy Goff will be 17-0. Super Bowl will be ours. I like the way you're foretelling the future. Vincent, Campbell ahead of Gibbs. I did see that too. Eddie, Matt Stafford wants out of Detroit. He got his wish. If Matt Stafford comes back, he should be a backup, and I wouldn't give him a big contract at his age. No, I wouldn't either. Phil, glorious, and one keg of beer for the four of us. There you go. Enjoy, my friend. Miles Meyer. On Fox Radio last night, Dan Byer said if Lions had a choice after the last season, it would he would have chose Ben Johnson rather than MCDC as head coach. That's just crazy. I know there are some stories out there suggesting that. To each their own. That's all I'll say. Easy. Still can't believe Jags passed on Hutch. Yes, and remember how fast the Lions sprinted to that podium after they did. Great day. Crazy Goff isn't the top of the list. The offense doesn't function without Goff. He doesn't get the respect he deserves. I agree. I would put it this way. Just my opinion. I know there will be some that have a different opinion. Goff's the type of player that, hey, once he's gone, you see the difference. Now everybody wants him back. And it is what it is. Phil, will Sewell move to left tackle when Decker retires? It's a big question. I know Sewell says he prefers playing the right tackle now, but I don't think it would take a whole lot to convince him to go to the left. Maybe I'm wrong. Benjamin Brewer, no MVP for non-playoff team. Dre Day. Goff is a good running back. The Gibbs is the only a good, not great running back. Break more one-on-one tackles. His rankings will go up. That could be 100%. Eddie, Jack Campbell should be the top list for defensive player of the year next year. He'll probably be, he will probably get some respect in that manner. Great day, quarterback. Yeah, I figured that's where you're going, even though I probably murdered it. Hookadoo, Fox Radio, Miles Margaret must have some real bad ratings. It could be. Phil, Gibbs needs to learn how to block. I would agree with that. Vincent, U10 saying 67 and OJ and 73, the only two players to win MVPs while missing the playoffs. Okay, thank you for that. Phil, offensive line, May were first-round picks. We'll find out where we'll go with those first-round picks. Miles Marker, laughing. You got that right, Hookadoo. Easy. Hope Stafford retires. Laughing out loud, seriously. He's probably getting close there, but he's one big hit away, like all NFL players. Ready, AA can go, but Roy Lopez is a must. He is only 25 and Muhammad is 31. He can go get that check somewhere else. Maybe they will. Pierce, I am ready for the wall of mullet. Yes, the Iowa kid coming over for the offensive line. Wouldn't that be something? Pierce, straight A. And playing half the snaps is a bad look for Alec Muhammad. I agree. We need to get younger there, probably. J.K. Anzalone getting old. He is, man, just like the rest of us. Agreed 110%. Pierce says Hookadoo. Jerome Davis, what do you got? I thought the thought of Stafford's age mixed with back problems is enough to say not really. Okay, I'll go with that. Great day. Pierce Sargent, 100%. Need to get younger up front on both sides of the line. I concur. Vincent, Anzalone can walk good linebackers and free agency. There are some for sure. Pierce, Hookadoo. And one guy in particular we need to change the punch code or lockers for. Yes, DDI. Brian White, good morning. Exclamation. Greetings, salutations. Back at you, my friend. Queen Mary Pierce, me to Tate twins. Okay. Yeah, the Tate twins. There we go. Gary, if Stafford comes back, he's going to play center. That being said, I saw Bad Bunny yesterday for the first time and was completely discussed. Won't be watching halftime in such blah. Okay, Vincent, easy. What do you got? Yeah, Anzo would be a great fit for the Jets. Probably accurate. You know who. Good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Back at you, Pierce. Queen Mary, the wall of mullet will be awesome. If we get it, that would be an awesome combination. Going to be a whole lot of easy marketing for T-shirts and other stuff if we make that one happen. 2A Chef, Anzalone provides leadership the Jets don't have, but it hurts the Lions at the same time. It would be accurate. Moonscar Blade, for AA, it's good to be wanted. For Aaron Glenn, if AA is your top priority, your priorities are messed up. He needs to get some coaching staff on there. And yes, he's getting turned down by people that I was surprised by. Dre Day, Alex the Jets to get that check. AG will take care of him. Probably accurate. Could be one of his final moves. Hookadoo, you're talking about Pierce? We'll find out. Queen Mary, good morning, Carrie. JK, the Jets should worry more hiring coaching staff. Same with Arizona. Jeez, yes, agreed. Hustley Medley, good morning, Coach Dan Ducru. Great breakfast. Thank you for the hard work. Anytime, my friend. Hopefully you have a good afternoon and lunch over in Cairo. Queen Mary, Dunker, come here, home to the Lions Nation. Let's see if we may have him. Pierce, that's $70 million, a center and a safety. Yes, that would be a pretty good pickup there. Sorry, a corner. It could be a corner who calls to play safety. Maybe outside the box. Queen Mary, good morning, Mr. Hassanin. Henry Moore Sr., good afternoon, Mr. Hassanin. Hookadoo. Good afternoon, Mr. Hassanin. I'm waiting for next season and a med to kick some butt. Let's hope he does. Pierce, Hookadoo. Hopefully Benedict shows some faith in a certain DDI. Wouldn't that be great? JK, good night, Mr. Hassanin. Hassanin Madley, good morning to Mr. Hookadoo. JK, Mary, Queen Mary. How about that? Let's see, Silver Surfer, all the above. Let's see, Dre Day, $70 million for a center and re-sign some previous players. Vontae and Rock are a must. Let's get them. Pierce, Dre Day, I don't think Maddox and Rockyard will be pricey. I don't think so either. I mean, they played well, but not like overly great. Benjamin Brewer to Brad Holmes. What have you done for us lately? We'll find out hopefully later this offseason. Dre Day, Pierce Sargent, they won't, but if the small contracts add up, especially if to fill the roster. Yes, indeed. Pierce, Dre Day, true, very true, but those contracts were probably total $15 million. Hassan Madley, good morning, Mr. Henry Morris, Cynthia. Pierce, I say Hookadoo. Pierce, his first play in Chicago, he'd get injured. Might be true. Brian White, I think we need to get Petzing to convince the Lions and McBride to get together on a deal. Let's see if they can make that happen. Brian, what do you got? Good morning. Back at you. Pierce, Brian White, he is already locked up long-term for Arizona. Stephanie, Stephen, what do you got? Greetings, salutations, Duke Crew, and Coach Dan Stafford is probably heading to Minnesota Vikings. Wouldn't that be something? The Trim Raver, good morning, Coach Dan, the mighty Duke Crew. Exclamation point, let's go Lions. Woo, back at you. Great. Minnesota locked in with JJ. They won't sign Stafford. I think the one thing that would hurt the Vikings, and they could probably work their way around it, is you look at their roster. They got a pretty good roster. A lot of pricey guys on there. And they did that with the idea that JJ McCarthy in his low-cost contract would lead the way. If they sign a veteran like Stafford, that's going to really change the dynamics of the team. Not saying he couldn't work it out, but it would make some changes for sure. Easy. I don't think players have a choice, a team when they enter the Hall of Fame, not in the NFL. I think I could be wrong with it, but I'm pretty sure Stafford could choose to have his bust as either a Ram or a Lion since he played for either one. Motor City Patriot. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Group. Back at you. Hookadoo. Good morning, Trim. Virgil Green, what do you got? I live close to Penfield. Hey, I used to coach in Penfield. I think highly of Battle Creek Penfield. Hussey Malley, good morning, Mr. Till the Hung. Big Eddie. David, if I'm Stafford, I'm staying in L.A. for a cut in pay. I can see his wife giving him the on any given Sunday, wife speech. That was a good movie, by the way. Carrie, morning, Queen. J-Mo Lion King, great show. Dan, pass on Stafford. He will stay in L.A. Probably true. Queen Mary, good morning, Trim. Dennis, good morning. Back at you. Motown Mitch, if Stafford comes back, would Kelly try and shag up with Goff since he would be the starter? Ooh, let's not go there. Vernon, what do you got? Good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Back at you. How you doing today? Trim Reaper. Good morning, Hookadoo and Queen Mary. Thomas, Matt, back. Question mark. Love the dude. Still has a gun, but no, don't want him back. We'll take him off the list. Hookadoo, Motown is laughing. Bill, what do you got? Greetings from City PH, Philadelphia. Okay. Well, hey, hopefully having a good morning there. Thomas, if AA leaves, it will hurt. But, exclamation point, the biggest issue at linebacker is Barnes, who is way overpaid and under-talented. Can't cover running back, can't tackle in open spaces. At least he's consistent. Well, at least he is consistent then. Silver Server, Coach, I wasn't going to say anything, but when I heard today is your mother's birthday, Moonscar's mother's birthday. Well, I had to tell you, your mom and I share the same birthday. Yes, I think Moonscar Blade's mother's birthday. Pat, happy birthday, Coach Mom. Hope she has a great day. I hope my mom has a great day, too. It's not her birthday, though. Moonscar Blade, I see Queen Mary. Good morning, Blight and Tall, and welcome to the Lions Talk Live. There you go. Yes, welcome over to the Duke Crew. Thomas, we must get back to Sonic and Knuckles, exclamation point. But if we let Monty go, we will end up with a running back as close to him as possible. A lot less cash. That's probably accurate. Dream Reaper hit all the buttons. Thank you for that. Pat, happy birthday, Silver Surfer. Okay, I concur. Yeah, happy birthday, Silver Surfer. Let's see, Hookadoo. Great morning, Silver Surfer. I missed that. Today's woman's, it's not my mom's birthday. Happy birthday. Correct. Mama, thank you. Happy birthday, Mama Thornton. All right. I don't know where this came from. Let's see, Gypsy, what do you got? I have a Faceless History channel. It's fun watching people argue about what they actually think happened or not. Yeah, there you go. Let's see, Thomas, let's be real, y'all. Matt ain't coming back. No, I think we all agree on that. Silver Server, thank you so much, Pat and Hookadoo. Lauren, happy birthday to Silver and Mama Thornton. All right. Yeah, I don't know where this came from. Let's see, Queen Mary. Good morning. Good morning, Silver Surfer. Happy birthday. Agreed. Virgil Green, 100% golf with good line, great pocket guy, and king of play action. I agree. Good Big M, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. I am late to the party. No worries, my friend. Just popping in to wish everyone a great day. Take care. God bless. Go Lions. Woo! And back at you. Silver Server, thank you, Lauren. Trim Reaper. Mama Odamas, happy birthday. I'll let her know. Silver Server. My Mary, obligated. Okay. Anthony Fitzpatrick. Let me know when you can come back on the show. I know your schedule keeps changing that, man. So let me know what works best for you. Everybody loves having that man on the show. What up, though? And what's up with you? Eddie, I saw a report that Kelvin Shepard is interviewing for the Miami Dolphins defense coordinator job. Yeah, that is passed, I think. I don't think he's going there anymore. I mean, he did have the interview, but I think that's all been handled. Thomas, no matter what we say about Ben in Chicago, he was smart to go there. They had a solid D, young quarterback. He knows offense just like our head coach has no clue to kick easy field goals in the first half. Okay. Let's see, Queen Mary. Good morning, Anthony. Miles Margaret. Hi, Anthony Fitzpatrick from Roar the Lions UK. Yes, indeed. Look at Ant-Man. I can feel the grit from across the pond. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. Henry Moore Sr. Have a glorious day, my friends. I'll chat with you tomorrow. See you then. Queen Mary. Have a blessed day, Henry. Silver Server. Eddie, if that were to be true, then Shep might be already out of Troy. I mean, you jump ship for the same position? Question mark. Perhaps he wants to be home. Yeah, maybe just a warmer environment. I mean, who really knows? Maybe the pay is much better. We do. See you, Henry. Phil, will Anzalone want to be a very bad team? We'll find out. That I don't know. Let's see, Thomas. by looking past our head coach's clownish first halves, fourth downs, calls, big mistakes. Yo, MCDC, you cost us 2 games last year. Kick the easy field goals. I'll go with that. I've been in draft for the D, free agent lineman, stud on offense, unless we can lure a big-name defensive end. We'll find out. Detroit, no to Stafford, Goff's better. I concur. Silver Server, Hassan Malley, good morning, Mr. Hassanin. Thomas, Stafford, when, not if, he goes into the Hall of Fame. It won't be as a Lion, guys. Why would he? We'll find out. Let's see, Billings, Philippines. Okay, you are worldwide. Hey, how about that? I'll take that. And hey, thanks for tuning in. I know it's got to be a little bit later in the day there. Dre Day, Server, you started a fake news trend on Coach Mom's birthday. Laughing out. Happy birthday. Hey, it happens, man. Better early than late, right? Or I don't know. Yep. Happy birthday, Mama Moonscar. Dennis, happy birthday. Phil, how many children is in your childhood family, Dan? So, yes, we got a big family. Cutting it close. Good morning, all. First time live show. Greetings, sanitation to the Queens, Dan, and Duke crew. Exclamation point. Woo! And just for you, let's just say, hey, welcome to the Duke crew, my friend. Moonscar, thanks, fellas. I'll pass it on. Happy birthday, Silver. Phil, love to Bobby and Jen. 100%, my friend. Phil, happy birthday, Jen. It's not her birthday. Let's see, Trim Reaper. Let's see, fake birthday news spreads fast. It does, it seems. Silver Sir, what am I becoming deaf? My apologies. Happy birthday to Moonscar's mom. It happens, man. It happens. Phil, how's the Tesla doing the snow? It does well, man. This is fourth year I've driven it in the snow, and yeah, it's never been a problem. Gary, happy trails. Have a great Groundhog's Day. Everyone stay safe and go Lions. Woo! Back at you, Gary. Laughing out loud, says Moonscar Blade. Hookadoo. Welcome to Cutting It In, 100%. Trim Reaper, happy birthday, buddy. Until then, happy birthday, Mama Coach. All right. Trim Reaper, laughing. Moonscar Blade. Yes, my mama and Silver's, not Dan's mom's. It happens, man. There's a lot of moving parts here this morning. Silver Surfer, thank you, Trim. Exclamation point. Queen Mary, have a blessed and safe day. See you all in the morning. We'll see you then. Let's see, manufacturer, what do you got? Stafford can't stay in L.A. This is a ridiculous non-story. I agree. But, hey, the fact that Detroit News, Free Press, and SI had it, I addressed it. All right, Hoodoo, happy trails, Duke Crew, One Pride Worldwide. Have a good time. Silver Surfer waving at Mary. Trim River, happy birthday, everyone. Have a great day. Let's see, Biting Kneecaps, good morning. What up, Doe? Exclamation point. What's going on? Miles Barker, welcome, Cutting It Close, Grip Morning, 100%. And Silver Surfer, thanks, Dre Day. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, hit any button you want. Just have a great day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. And we'll see you guys all in the next Lions Talk Live. Have a great one.